Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. We just moved the sheep into a piece of stockpile here. This was grazed, well, clear back in November. So it's had November, December, January, 3.5 months between grazings since we've had the sheep in here. And well, we've got some beautiful stockpile. This is the last piece on this particular, what we call the back 40. We are on the lifetime lease. And, you know, these darn sheep just take care of themselves. We got four guardian dogs back here with them. And there's about 100, and counting the rams, the ewes and the withers, probably around 160 head in here. Hey, big boy. Yeah, how you doing? Hey, lady. Yeah, you're a good girl. What's kind of cool is the wild dog, the one that just absolutely would take off running when he came into the paddock. He's not so bad anymore. There he is. No, that's the young dog down at the very end. But you know, we're on Kentucky 31 fescue. There's not too much clover left now. It's been frosted pretty bad, so there's not hardly any clover left. Got a little remnant of broom sedge on the very tops of these ridges. This ridge and that one right over there. And we may come in here and kind of top dress that with a little bit of lime and see if we can knock it out. This used to have a whole lot more on it. It was probably 50% broom sedge back in the day. But we still have the rams in here. We turned the rams into the ewes. It was December 1st. And once we turn the rams in, we just leave them in. They don't come back out of here until July 7th. And July 7th is when we get all the sheep up, the ram lambs, ewe lambs, and we go through the rams and we use the green bands and we band the ones we don't want to keep for breeders. And then the old rams with the ones that we decide to keep, the ram lambs, go to the ram farm. And last year that was around, I don't know, we had, I think around 80 or 90 head that we took over to the ram farm. And yeah, so the sheep have access to that timber right there. And they'll go in there and kind of clean out whatever they can find, especially in snow. They just don't they don't feel sorry for themselves. They go out and find something to eat. There's the young dog. He's running toward us now. Golly, I'm telling you folks, these sheep, you know, all they're getting is mineral. We don't feed them any hay. Of course, they don't get any grain. They don't get any shots. No tail docking, no shearing, no hoof trimming. Of course, no worming. They've never been wormed in their life. You know? I don't know how you can graze or own any animal on the face of the earth that's any more low maintenance than a sheep, particularly these sheep. Now there are some sheep out there that are really high maintenance, and you got to shear them, you got to worm them to keep them alive, you got to feed them grain or they get thin. You know, those are pampered sheep. And I just want to give you all a little words of wisdom. Do not go to a sale barn and get you a flock of sheep. That would be my cardinal rule. unless you want to get foot rot. Because there's people bringing sheep into those sale barns all the time that have hoof issues, primarily foot rot, and you buy sheep out of there, bring that onto your farm, and now you've got foot rot in your soil, and you've got to leave that farm vacant for a year at minimum for that foot rot to kind of run its course and get out of there. It's awful. It's an awful disease. We've never had it, and I don't want it. I know people that have, and it's ruined their flock. Absolutely ruined it. They had to sell them all and leave the farm vacant and start all over again. So these are Katahdin St. Croix crosses. I would say that covers about 80% of them. There's a few black ones in here. It's got some Florida native in them. And I think there's about two Barbados. There's two Barbados ewes in here. You can tell they came from a Barbados mom. They got the black bellies on them. I love them. They're beautiful sheep. Well, here's one right here. I'll get up close to her. I'll show her to you. She is a beaut. I think we got 3 of them. But the St. Croix, those are the ones that really throw the parasite resistance. There she is. Isn't she pretty? These sheep are just fat. You think we're feeding them grain and alfalfa hay? Well, if you're feeding your sheep alfalfa hay and grain, you're going to be trimming hooves. Because grain grows hoof and it grows horn. So if you like to trim hooves on sheep, feed them a bunch of grain. That'll do it. You'll also go broke. You can't feed your sheep anything, folks, but this. If you want a sustainable, profitable flock. And right now, I don't know if anybody's checked what sheep are selling for, but it's pretty much nuts. They're almost like having gold, only they're better than gold because you can eat a sheep, and you can't eat gold. So, not saying gold's a bad investment, I'm just saying sheep are better because they reproduce themselves. They give you twins every year. So, pretty good thing to have on your farm. You know, there's a lot of people, I just got back from the workshop in Texas, and I would say 30% of those people, maybe a little higher than that, you know, had 20, 30, 40 acres, and they're looking to put livestock on it. And, you know, sheep are a great asset. It's kind of tough to do cow-calf pairs. You know, you're going to get into cows and you got to get a bull to run that on 20 to 30 acres. You're not going to be able to run very many, but on sheep, you can run several more. Now, there was a guy here a while back, I'm not even going to mention his name, but he was talking about running 100 head of ewes on 20 acres. And I finally got involved in the discussion after it went on for a while. And I said, you can do that, but it's going to be a wreck. You can't run 100 ewes on 20 acres and have enough recovery between grazings that you're going to get ate up with parasites, and they're going to run out of feed. Folks, stock your farm where you're in a drought. If you always stock your farm like you're in a drought, you're never going to run out of grass. And winter is a long time. If you've got to start feeding hay in November because you had too many animals, like 100 ewes on 20 acres, well, what are you going to do when they lamb? Now you've got 300 on 20 acres. That's not going to work. It's going to be a wreck. So just use a little common sense and stock appropriately. If you got 20 acres, shoot, I'd start out with, you know, maybe 10 or 15 ewes and see how you go from there, but don't go bringing in 100. I mean, everything's going to be a wreck. The lambs, when they come out, they're going to be wormy because the mothers are wormy. You didn't have enough rest and rotation between grazings. Remember, the best medicine for a sheep is to move them onto clean ground like we did just a minute ago. I mean, look at these sheep. They're in the single one that's got a dirty tail. I'd say 70–80% of these sheep here have twins in them. And they did it on stockpile fescue. That's your unfair advantage right there. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off of here. Everyone have a good one. And I wanted to give a plug for the steers. I think we've sold 105 of them. They're still, we got 140 some left. These are grass-fed steers. They're gonna weigh around 500 to 600 pounds. They're available in June, and we've got 2 groups that are gonna be available in July. Out of tremendous seed stock from my friends up north. And they would be 3/4. They're a 3/4 cross South Pole. They got 3 of the breeds that are in the South Pole. These are not South Pole cattle. So they'd be a Hereford, a Red Angus, and a Barzona cross. Super nice steers. They're going to be weaned, have their first set of shots. They're broke to hot wire. And for those of you who got 20–30 acres, and you got it fenced, and you can't find any sheep to put on it right now because sheep are a rare commodity, heck, get you 10 steers and put on there. You know, you can eat them, sell some to your neighbors. You know, at least you got something after grazing, putting some microbes on the ground and building microbes in the soil. You need an animal after trampling, folks. And if you got 30 acres and nothing eating on it, you're really not, you're not moving forward on your soil biology very well. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. If you're interested in the steers, fire me an email at greenpasturesfarm.net, and we'll see y'all down the road. Have a good one.